All right, guys, welcome back to Passing the Bar podcast, where we are a group of veteran bartenders talking about the ups and downs of the industry and also the social issues that we're dealing with. Today, I've got my co-host, Evan.
What it do?
And Steve.
Hello, hello.
And my name is Chris Pryor. I'll be your host. Today's segment, we're going to be speaking about some badass bitches. And for our guest that we have today, I've got the beautiful Rachel.
Woo!
And the illustrious Erin.
Oh, hey. You just
Hello.
turned into a sexy voice.
Two absolute rock stars behind the bar. I couldn't think of any two better female bartenders that have it all, kind of like the full package with the brains, the work ethic, the looks, that whole nine. So, girls, how big are your dicks?
They're pretty big.
You know, because I feel like because I've worked with you guys, and actually everyone here, we've all kind of worked together, so it's quite
absolutely.
nice. I've seen you girls run fucking circles. I mean, absolute circles around all types of men and women too. And just kind of lead the pack, man, you know? So when I say, like, you know, how big are your dicks? I mean, I know how big your dicks are. Dicks are huge. Bigger than most guys I've ever bartended with,
Right,
you know?
and that's like the whole thing is people are always like, oh, the cliche is a woman bartender.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because a lot of times, you know, girls get hired because of their looks. Or, oh, hey, she doesn't have the arms, but she has big boobs. Let's hire her. She'll be a great bartender.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, living up to that standard is kind of like, no, we are good bartenders, and we look good, too.
Yeah. And then to that sense, it's like I've worked at places where they go, or even now at places that I've just recently left, they were like, well, we need to get more girls in here. And basically it's like, you know what I mean? Where, again, like you guys, like working with you two, even for me, when I first started working with you, it's very intimidating because you guys are good. You're like over the top good. And it's like, oh shit, I got to be faster than, you know, I got to catch up. I'm going to be an asshole. You know what I mean?
Right.
So essentially the way you guys work, it makes me be a better and faster bartender. You know?
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, we're building each other up.
I get it, though, you know, from management and ownership perspective, you know.
Yeah, you want to
at
have
least-
a pretty face behind the bar.
You want it, right. But, you know, you have to have like, it's got to be, like, equal. But at the same sense,
Right.
like, for us, like, I don't want to hop behind a bar with just a pretty face. Like, Mitch, if I get stuck in the well, you know what I mean? Like, I want us to be able to make money. So, vice versa. You know, you take well, I take bar top, or vice versa. Let's rock this out. You know, I feel like sometimes what we end up dealing with, whether it be guy or girl, is that you'll have a face, but not somebody with skill.
Right.
And then you'll end up with like a higher head count behind your bar, your money, your tip
Right.
percentage goes down, you know, then you're
Right.
looking at this person who's
Right,
just,
like you can look pretty all day, but like, are you going to be able to make drinks? You know, handle a double, triple wrapped bar?
Right.
you
Are you
know,
going to be able to take bus chubs and cut oranges and cut fruit and handle your shit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, because, I mean, sometimes there's some animosity that builds up, you know what I mean? If you get stuck in the well making all the drinks because that really pretty person, like you said, whether it's a guy or a girl, is just talking.
Yeah.
Fucking hanging out in the corner,
God,
not
right.
doing a
See.
fucking thing.
Doing,
And
like,
then
doing like the lean over the
doing
bar,
the
like,
lean over,
okay.
flashing the eyes, and then the whole
Okay.
time you're like, okay, I have to split money with this person.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why we have you on the show today, ladies, because
Right.
that is not you at all. Like Evan
Right.
said, I remember the first night at the Shack with Rachel.
Woo.
Woo!
whoa,
500 people for 2 bartenders, and I'm like, oh shit, I better keep moving because she's making me look bad right now. I better keep moving.
It's like stories of legend with you guys. Just from what I've heard of that, and that's unreal what you guys are handling.
Like too busy would be like, Steve, you good? I'm like, Rach, you good? I'm like, oh yeah, we're good.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep moving.
just smile.
I got 2 ice cubes. We're fine. Fine.
Do you need ice? No, we're good. We're fine.
Can I get
We're good. We still have Bud Light to sell. It's fine.
Get that tequila chilled? No.
Yeah, we've all worked with like that girl, you know, that pretty face girl that's like, I can't get ice because my shoulder hurts and I can't carry this. I'm like, I will do everything that the boys will do and more.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I will live like I don't want that stigma. you
Right.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how does working with that stigma? You know what I mean? Like knowing that as like a stigma, you know? So like, I'll say it because sometimes there'll be people that continue to be able to work behind a bar that don't deserve to be there on the team, maybe, you know, for whatever reason that they're still there.
Right.
Fucking the owner. And
Oh, yeah.
or whatever the
Or whoever's in charge.
whatever
or
the
something.
deal,
Right.
whatever the deal,
Right.
we get it, you know, whatever. But like, it's like not fair, you know what I mean?
Right.
It isn't.
To not only hardworking people, but definitely hardworking women that jump over that double standard, you know what I mean, and kind of break through that ceiling when it comes to being behind the bar, you know. I can see it being frustrating as like a male bartender having to split tips with
Right.
someone that isn't up to par. You know what I mean? Much less a female that has to split tips with somebody that's not up to par, but has to look at that person in the face and smile at him like,
Right. And I feel like that's why we would like weed girls out like that.
I think that we are pretty good about letting people know.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
hey,
hey,
you ain't cutting it.
You ain't cutting it.
So,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Shaq
I mean,
mamas.
not to
Straight up
not to
Shaq
sound like
mamas,
savages, but
But it's the
we are also
and like either
we
they would
put
rise to
people
the
in their
occasion
place.
or they
Yeah.
wouldn't. And
Right.
then if they didn't, then
We gave
bye.
them chances. We took them on our team. We tried to help them, guide them.
Like Alex is a perfect example. I think she came in,
Oh,
you
Kaiser.
know, very
Yeah.
fresh,
Oh, absolutely,
very,
yeah.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
pretty, like,
Right.
gorgeous girl, very fresh to bartending, and she stepped it up.
Oh my
She
god.
would be like, I'm gonna work where you're working, and
Right.
I'm not scared of you, and you tell me what to do.
Yeah.
We-
We're like, all right,
We were
Yeah,
having
I
that
see you.
conversation the other day. Like, she was saying the exact thing about you two, where it was like, it was hard working with you know Rachel and Erin in the beginning because like you were critical about her, you know what I mean, and like what she's doing, but at the same time it wasn't because you're trying to be mean, but like you said,
we're
it's
trying
like
to make her better.
you got to make her better, and then
Yeah.
it's not just for her, but just for the whole team. Like we can't have that one person that's like holding everybody else down, and sadly, it's like sometimes people don't get better, and then they just like you said they get cut.
Yeah.
But for her, she said the other day she was just like, I'm so appreciative. She was like,
Yeah.
I love them. These are like my best friends now. Like
Yeah.
I'm so happy that
And
they
she
did that
rides-
for me.
We're like, show us what you got.
Yeah, and she
And then
did.
we're going to see. Yeah, she did. And,
and she wasn't scared, which I
No.
liked.
Some girls come in and.
They're like, oh my god, she was so mean to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
well,
we're not being mean. We just
don't
have
want a pretty face behind
we
the
have
bar
a high
that
standard
do
of
anything.
not expectation. I mean, pretty
Yeah.
much expectation.
Yeah,
But,
high
like,
expectations.
there's nothing that a guy would do that we wouldn't do. We're
Right.
not going to be like, oh, can you go get me ice? Like,
Right.
we're going to go get 4 buckets of ice.
Right.
You're carrying 2, I'm going to carry 4.
Right.
So, I
Or
just,
cases of 2 cases of booze
Beer.
at all time. You guys are pulling the 120 cases off the van just as fast as we are, if not faster sometimes.
and we got
Especially-
titties.
Yeah, and and how do you even? Yeah, right. How do you? I
Airbags.
use my chest to hold these things. Like they must.
Ours are
I don't even
obstacles,
understand that. Yeah,
yeah.
that's tough. That's tough.
When you have like a new girl, let's just call the girls. Oh, chin,
Oh.
cheers.
Chin chin.
Oh,
cheers to you,
cheers.
ladies, again.
Cheers, fellas.
When you have a new female that's on staff that gets on the roster behind the bar, I feel like it's a thought that girls are pretty catty. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you see yourselves as arms wide open? No.
Oh, don't.
Wide open.
Not that song.
With arms wide open.
I mean, the way I look at it is, we were all the new person
Right.
at one time.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not gonna ever be like that mean girls, like, no. But also, on the other hand, like, you need to show me that you're worth it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You need to prove yourself
Right.
before,
So that's
we
the
accept you. But I will answer your questions. I will help you. Like with Alex, like I will help you be better. As long as you show me that you're trying and that you're worth it.
Yeah.
it kind of comes down to like,
That
do
you
you,
can
do
hang.
you give a shit?
So
Yeah.
Right, because that's one thing that you can't teach is work ethic and speed.
right.
Like that's just something that you either are born with and you
Yeah.
want,
100%.
and you're hungry for the industry and you want to do well in it and you want to grow in it. And some people just don't have that.
Yeah. I also think that like actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
I can say I can do all this stuff, but until you actually see us in it,
Yeah.
in the trenches,
Yeah, in the
getting
trenches.
worked,
Yep.
like that for me, like I see it. I mean, I've gotten better because I've worked with so many good bartenders,
Yeah.
and I've I've seen the ones that have been weeded out as well.
Right.
And I'm like, I never want someone to be that person.
Right.
I'm gonna give you an ample opportunity to prove yourself, and when you can't, then I'm gonna be like, deuces, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm not also gonna immediately be like, oh, this bitch sucks. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna try.
Give them the opportunity.
I'm
give
gonna
them the
try to
chance.
make you better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to show you what I know, teach you what I know, because I've been doing this for 10, 11 years.
Right. You got experience.
So, and I've worked at corporate. I've worked at family-owned businesses. So,
Right. So you have both sides of the situation.
And the Vegas that is Virginia Beach. Sometimes.
Virginia, Vegas.
I mean, shit. How many people did we
Vegas
have
Beach.
at the
Vegas
shack
Beach.
on, like, let's say a Sam Hunt Memorial Day weekend?
1,600 people.
1,600 people for, at that point, it was what, 8 to 10 bartenders.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude. So I think that this year the best hour that we have is like $15,000, which is like, you know what I mean?
That's insane.
and just alcohol, no food.
It's just alcohol, no food,
Yeah.
and we're talking $4 beers. You know what I mean? $7 drinks, like
$4 Bud Light.
Without the Vegas pricing of
Right.
$12 for a Coors Light.
So this toast lady's in the day trying
You're
to
talking
sell
about an hour, right?
1 hour, $15,000, and then so me and Snyder had this conversation. Is like, let people just like, oh, I want to be a bartender. It's like, let you take a ride in these eyes for like, that hour.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, you're gonna have PTSD and like,
Yeah.
be balled up in the corner like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Crying in the
what do
corner.
I do? You know what I mean? But we like
Get back
we,
in the trenches.
we've grown accustomed to that, and then we were able to handle it. And like, that nobody will understand what we're talking about, but that front right corner, like on the peak days, like, and that's Rachel
our
and
corner.
Aaron's corner.
That
What?
was our corner.
That's y'all's corner. But that
I'm
corner
not gonna market.
is a monster, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's you have hordes of drunk people, like like zombie hordes of drunk people, just like, "Wow," you know what I mean, and then you just handle it, and you keep your cool, and then you yell at
Yeah.
that guy for being, step aside, or you're just too drunk, and you just handle it. You're nice to the person
And
that's
then
not
still,
an idiot. You know
still
what I mean?
keep a smile on your
Right.
face, and still, like Rachel, when
I
she
know.
just smile and say, "Okay, thank you."
Like,
Thank
there was
you.
just one
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
I was just over it. It was a
Yeah.
long weekend, and it got to a certain
Okay,
point
thank
where
you.
I just started like doing like a pageant wave. I'm just like, thank you, thank you. They're like, no, 4 Rumplemans. I'm like, no, thank you. And they're like, wait, what?
So that's another thing is like you can't let your emotions get to you. It's crazy
No.
like that.
Yeah.
Like when you want to just like hide behind the cooler and be
can't
like,
do
"All right,
it."
I gotta go. No, I can't do it."
Yeah.
There's no
You just have
running
to
away
keep,
from that.
Yep, you gotta keep smiling. You
It's like
keep making
you
drinks.
realize I could still see you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't duck down. I'm here in front of you. Can you just get my fucking 4 shots of Rumple?
Yeah.
It is unreal though. It's like, and it's like rapid fire, like, like dealing with the guests. Like you look at the DMV or retail situations. It's like, okay, line 4's open now, so come over here, and
Why
it's
do
like,
you
okay.
sound so Asian.
I know. I just want to throw a voice out there, like a new voice.
That was like a Jamaican Asian.
So yeah, what the?
Hey, man.
Hey,
What the
man.
bumba
This is
So, but
Just
the
come
thing
down
is
to
like,
aisle
we
4
do these
now.
transactions like so rapidly. Like
this is America.
I was talking about, this is America. Okay, so but the thing is like, but the thing is that, man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, I'm back. So
We're having a lot of fun
DMV,
today.
The DMV, the slot
okay,
of the
DMV. So and then even like, so what our ability is in that moment, what we're doing, we're making more money for this company relatively than a lawyer does for the firm in that period of time. Yeah.
So this weekend was Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure everyone got their dick kicked in at some point working.
Yeah.
So Mercedes, my wife, this was her first holy fuck shit. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We set records
Like,
for the
what did I
company.
sign up for?
Like she was like, I can't
Yeah.
wait to bartend. Oh my god. And then like this weekend, she just comes in
got
at
the-
closing
she's got
time
the grit.
and she
She's
has
got the
she's
grit.
just
She's-
sweaty. Her hair's in knots. You know what I mean? And she's like, people are so mean. How have you done this for 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, so here's the thing.
Fog of war.
And like as we're talking, I'm like, oh shit, I never noticed this, but I'm sure you will all agree with this. So you're bartending. The beginning of the night, it's kind of like people are still eating, hanging out, so you're giving better service, because you're kind of like doing your service steps. They're eating. You want to make sure everything's good. Then it's the beginning of the night. People start drinking. Waves of people are coming in, hundreds of people at a time.
Yeah.
But you're still not swamped because it's like, okay, they're just drinking.
I was looking over the hill and there was Charlie with his brown
But then
Fucking Vietnam.
there's that point between
There's
10.
Charlie everywhere.
There's Charlie everywhere. But then there's that point between 10 and 11:30 where people become sheep. and you can just straight up tell them what to do because they are so desperate for a drink that they will listen to whatever you have to say. So I was telling her, like so many times behind the bar,